You probably wouldn't believe it, but the old clothes sold for 2 cents a pound yesterday were reprocessed at Lao Ba's recycling workshop at extremely low cost, returning to their starting point as brand new raw materials for garment factories. Because the raw materials were cheap, Lao Ba was generous today, organizing a group purchase. They were temporarily placed in a processing area. Now, the workers are simply sorting the clothes by material and color to ensure pure colors in subsequent products. And this is the cleanest part of the workshop. Next, the worker enters the indoor crushing workshop. The minibus, who had just arrived, seemed very happy. Carefully, it fed the clothes into the crusher's feed inlet. The rotating blades inside the machine quickly broke them into small pieces. But this was only the first step in turning waste into treasure. Then strips of cloth, 1 or 2 centimeters wide, were placed into the opening machine. The technicians here only needed to ensure a sufficient supply of raw materials. No other operations were required. The brand new imported opening machine. The machine automatically processes old clothes through multiple cutting, crushing, and loosening steps. Through continuous operation, the originally intact structure of the old clothes gradually transforms into a fibrous state similar to cotton. To ensure all raw materials are processed perfectly, 2 sets of opening machines work together, so the entire process takes a considerable amount of time, approximately 2.5 hours. The first batch of processed black hearted cotton arrives at the export point. What do you all think of the quality? Since the workshop owner has already eaten ... Giant a half set of gold processing equipment has been introduced. These currently inexpensive black core cotton materials will be processed into cotton thread before being sold. Because the distance to the imitation workshop is quite far, the loose raw materials will first be simply bundled using a bundling machine and then transported to a temporary location. Then, using a self-made 2-wheeled handcart as a transport tool, the small cart pulls it across a wide area more than 2 kilometers away to reach the pre-processing workshop. Before processing, the master craftsman, mineral water is sprayed on the surface of the raw materials to reduce production dust, taking into account the fiber density after compression. It's a bit high. There are professional loosening equipment here to quickly restore them to a fluffy and soft state. Because the entire workshop is a basically enclosed structure, I now understand why Old 8, which has iron support, sprays water to reduce dust before starting work. Now, the processed raw materials are put into the ice cream machine. Although Little 8 is covered in dirt, it still believes that hard work will bring wealth. The raw materials enter the conveyor channel via high-speed rollers. However, the power source for this conveyor, which spans several tens of meters, is unknown. This is likely due to the sufficiently long transport distance. The pre-treatment workshop and roving station, where dust is relatively high, achieves separation. The fluffy black core cotton is gradually transformed into individual cotton threads, each about 2 centimeters in diameter, through the stretching and tensioning of the roving frame. Minimal manual intervention is required here. The machine can complete the process. The raw yarn, now arriving at the adjacent Jingfeng workshop, is directly installed into the feed inlet of the spinning machine. It undergoes further stage stretching and refining to ensure the yarn diameter meets design requirements. The spinning machine outlet is equipped with a stencil forming device. The finished yarn is then directly fed onto a specially made stencil. This way, when it reaches the textile factory, no further processing is needed. Once the raw material quantity reaches the design specifications, the stencil is removed and placed aside for simple packaging. Selling at a high price is just because I feel that such thick cotton thread shouldn't be used in garment factories.